Well then. Today is 10/25/19, and Homestuck 2 just came out. So much has already happened today. I'm just a little bit overwhelmed right now, and this is just adding to it. Oh boy. Okay, cuz I'll go into detail. You don't even know. Okay, so let's talk about Homestuck 2 for a change. Homestuck 2 is being created by What Pumpkin and Snake Solution Studios, LLP. It's a project that was conceived and produced and the story outlined by Hussey, but it's to be written and the art's supposed to be done by the fandom. Some of our writers, we got Kate Mitchell of SCP Foundation. You know that fandom, you know the writing that goes into that. We got Aisha Ufara and Lalo Hunt from the Homestuck Epilogues and the Friend Sim stuff that I still haven't done. We also got a couple fan favorites. We've got Pip Dillonstone and Optimistic Duelist. And we got X-Mag, who's leading the art team. I wish I was part of this team. Wouldn't it be funny if they actually, reached out to me on Twitter, but since I never ever check Twitter and basically ignore it, that I missed my opportunity and the little window of opportunity and time that I could have joined this team? I'm not sure if that's actually the case. Anyway, it's supposedly, from what I've seen, it updates monthly. I'm not sure the day of when it's gonna update. Probably Homestuck holidays, if I am to believe that. But they said that they would probably increase the amount of updates if you check out their Patreon, because this is crowd-funded, people. We gotta support our artists, because artists, like most people, they die of exposure. So do not just pay them your artist on exposure, actually give them some money. Anyway, I'm curious to see what's going to happen, so let's just get into this. Oh gosh, it's so orange! Also, heads up, I will be spoiling the epilogues. You know it, I know it, we're just gonna go. If you haven't read the epilogues, you don't need to. There supposedly is like a little recap. Yeah, there's a recap right here. You can click on that and it'll tell you all about the epilogues and how much we hate them but love them at the same time. If you only read one version of them, you love them. If you read both of them, you hate it. You hate it beyond anything you've ever hated before. But you will keep reading because you're in this, son. You're in this. Anyway, let's continue. Somewhere in the distant reaches of space. Hey, is that a rocket? Hey, we're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, soaring through the sky. Screw Dirk Strider. Oh my gosh, it's orange. Oh, that's because he took a highlighter all over Jake's visage. Oh my gosh, it's called the Theseus. Oh wow. What? I'm gonna have to look up what that means. I should know what that means, but I don't know my Greek and my Latin as much as I should. Oh, I see you. I see you, you piece of crap. My son! My piece of garbage son. Hello, Dirk. Oh my gosh, look at that cape. You look like Kamina 10 times over. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh no, he's talking. Oh no. He's still in control of this narrative. Talk about meta. Talk about meta. He's reading this. Okay. Surprise, son! I bet there was a moment just now when you thought to yourself, oh, thank God! Thank the Maker! Thank literally what the hell ever recalcitrant entity was, is now, or perhaps always has been responsible for piloting this story. Whoever it is, whose cataclysmic fingers hang suspended and quivering with anticipation somewhere beyond the curtain of the world, whose hunched form lurks forever in the shadows, its work seemingly unimpeded by the very real threat of a chronic lumbago, making no sound, giving no speech to thought, save for that fateful moment where first one elongated phalanx, and then another crosses the threshold between thought and reality, when 10 declamatory digits possessed for the moment of zealous frenzy reach down and set the air astir with the heart-rending creative cacophony of an overly rambunctious mechanical keyboard. Whichever accursed species of demiurgic figure that is, that's a good reference, demiurge. You thought, let's just thank the ever-living crap that this time they decided to call it a night and get out the drawing tablet instead. Finally, the story is back on the rails. Maybe we can get back to what things were like in the good old days, where boys were brave, girls were guileful, authors were alliterative, and in various dubious states of non/un-double death. And this comic made at least a little bit of sense to more or less everybody. Calm the heck down, Dirk. Sure, people for the epilogues were a little disturbed, but what can you expect when you throw AOE fanfiction at them? No more dealing with narrators, unreliable and not. No more embittered scrimmages over the bounding metafictional reality in which everything transpires. No more stupid, tang-tinted text. Your collective sigh of relief is deafening. Well, tough. This story... Oh, Rosebot. Oh no, I have to do Rose's voice, but also a robot. Dirk, what are you doing in there? Ah, crap, hang on a second, gotta take care of this. Rose's voice echoes tinnily out of my newly alchematized computer-integrated shades. The infidelity of her transmission is due to her voice being slightly too high definition for the speakers to reproduce it faithfully. There is an audio format even better than analog, it turns out, and that's what replaced Rose's vocal cords when I scooped up her rapidly dissipating soul and installed it into a robot body. I have it on authority that decanting is sometimes necessary to ensure a wine is at its best. I like to think that the same was ultimately true of her. Oops, I just hit something and that made noise. I'm sorry. Oh, nothing important, to the extent that anything that you or I do is even capable of being unimportant anymore, which extent is admittedly Okay, I can read. Which extent is admittedly teetering, a few microns shy of Jack right about now. The point is, don't worry about it. I'm just doing a bit of housekeeping. Well, pardon me for interrupting a prior engagement. Don't let me get in the way of all the dusting you must be doing. I just imagined you were wearing an apron over your god-tier outfit and almost felt my facial fuselage buckle in such a way as to approximate a fleeting smile. You got me. Your uncanny seer powers are at work once again. I'm just waiting here for an errant gust of wind to jostle my petticoats, unfortuitously exposing my undergarments to the lurid gaze of whatever what is that word? Prurient peeper might be watching. Don't look. I might cry in futile embarrassment, but the damage is done. My fragile anime purity has been shamelessly violated. Ah, yes, the animes. A bottomless source of good-natured humor. That ungodly noise of screeching metal you just heard was my titanium-reinforced thorax crumpling into a cartoonish posture of helpless mirth. Alright, we get it, you're literally a robot. No need to keep pointing it out every chance you get. I've got enough of this with the autoresponder. Is AR still around? Or do you have a new one? I'm just playing along. One of the fundamentals of bad science fiction is that any artificial beings must make their inorganic nature known at every juncture they can. If you want it to be bad science fiction. Do overly precise and completely meaningless statistics that you pull out of your butt on the fly also count? Oh, absolutely. That's one of the first things you do. Absolutely. That's one of the first things you just sort of spontaneously learn when being booted up. For example, I've calculated that by making these remarks... For example, I've calculated that I can't read. Dang it. For example, I've calculated that by making these remarks, I've raised the base level of amusement in all my conversations by 36%. Well, I don't personally find them very funny. No, but I do. It averages out, you see. Ooh, gotcha. Rose got you so bad. Oh, look at you. Look at how stupid you look. I love you. Oh, man, I can't wait to see what Robot Rose looks like. It's gonna be great. Oh, but this Dirk. He's so Kamina. It hurts. Okay, but like, what are you actually calling me about? I just thought that you might like to know that we're getting pretty close to your chosen crash site. We can head down to the planet below as soon as Terezi's finished working out how we do that. How to land? Wait, crash site? Yes. Among the features of this ship that were considered indispensable by its creator, which included multiple fully stocked drinks cabinets, a movie theater, and an 8-lane shooting range, a landing gear appears to have fallen just a little outside the realm of vital, or rather, hurtled to the ground, like we'll be doing, in case the message wasn't clear. Freaking Jake! Jake, really? Gotcha. Dang it, English! Assuming your busy work is more or less done by now, I'll get Terezi to set a course if she hasn't wandered away from the helm by now. She's been getting pretty impatient. So, I just want to get this on complete lockdown before I strap myself into the safety harness we'd all better hope wasn't getting emitted from the design schematic on this stupid ship. We're letting Terezi smash us into the planet we've been hunting for 3 years. Should she even be driving this thing? She is blind. Don't be such a chud, Dirk. Chud? Of the 3 of us, she has by far the most experience operating any kind of flying vessel. Just as much, if not more, experience of crashing them. Besides, it's not like the 2 of us have anything to worry about. It's Terezi that needs to be more careful. She's functionally mortal, remember? True, she's not even god tier. She doesn't even go here! Anyway. You mean to say that you don't think we'd be in peril if it came to it? There's nothing about our situation that strikes you as falling within the bounds of precarity as far as the rules are concerned? Oh, you're right. I suppose I haven't thought of that. But I think we can remain calm in the knowledge that nothing particularly heroic is going on right now. At least not that I'm aware of. True, but you guys are being villainous. Right. Give me a couple more minutes here, then we can head planet side. There's a few stray dust motes still left to eradicate. Just don't get too attached to having everything organized neatly, will you? Oh, man. Oh, Dirk. Oh, Dirk, Dirkity Dirk. My boy. My boy. What have they done to you? I like that you have a lava bucket for a trash bin. That's so Minecraft of you. I'm sorry. Moving on. Rose signs off the call without much fuss. She knows that I'm not really cleaning, but doesn't care enough to know what I'm actually doing. I know that she knows this, but I don't care enough that she knows, nor do I care that she doesn't give a crap. We're all just here, not giving a crap. I can't swear, okay, man? YouTube's listening, God's listening. Okay. Like a normal functioning group of people. I walk, no, oh no, right. I don't even have to do that explicitly. It's easy to get to the habit of just narrating everything, even when it's a bit creatively redundant. This is where the advantage of visuals come in, to make my life as an omniscient overseer a little bit less tedious. I can do whatever, and we can all see it happen, and nobody has to fight with a testy cherub lady for control of their own legs or anything. Shade. No need to pull a whole thesaurus out of my butt just so I can go to the bathroom. Seriously, it's a big relief. That doesn't mean this, gestures to the narrative, isn't still going to be a thing, though. Sometimes retreating back into the warm, welcoming folds of traditional prose is just gonna be the best way forward. And as someone whose mind is uniquely capable of understanding this conceit, I'll be the determining factor as to when and where it happens. I think that's more than reasonable. And yes, I'm capable of being reasonable. All in all, I think you'll find it, as far as narrators go, I'm an excellent... On second thought, maybe that's a bit problematic phrase. Yeah, yikes. That one's got a sordid history. Best steer clear of it. We're all lucky I'm around to make those kinds of sensitivity judgments on everyone's behalf. Oh, Dirk. Host. Speaking of which, I think it's time I started undoing some of the more egregious mistakes this story has been subjected to over the years. Yes, I'm talking about that guy. The other orange one. Remember him? Vriska got stalked by him a bit, and it was uncomfortable for everyone concerned. Anyway, the point is that he screwed up big time, and I'm here to clean up the horse crap. It's time to get this story back on the rails. Back to what it was always supposed to be. I know it, and you've somehow always known it too. There was something else, some other route that Homestuck was meant to take, but then it didn't. A way that wouldn't have spent so much time messing around with stuff nobody cares about. Like, seriously, why do we have to sit around through talking about everyone's almost intimate and private feelings for 200,000 words? That would never happen in Act 1. Where did it go wrong? Aw, man. Sorry, I read ahead. Let's see, I've had some time to think about these kinds of problems, and to come up with a solution, and I'm prepared to do what he couldn't, in order to save Paradox Space from the destruction brought upon it. I'll do what it takes, and don't think I won't. The author is dead. Long live the author. Look, I know what you're all really craving. I've been studying canon, or rather what's left of it, and I think I've found it. The critical moment in the wake of which everything started to take a nosedive into the protracted, endless slog of sheer insufferability we got saddled with near the end. This is the single most crucial error in the process that led to the present situation. The day when the story was wrestled screaming from the arms of its readers like a bawling infant and carried helplessly away. From then on to be raised according to the whims of a masochistic menace with no thought for you, the common fan. So now, I propose we turn the clock back to a better era, and take back what was rightfully ours. No longer will the way forward be subjected to tyrannical rule. No more shall the will of the masses be cajoled and browbeaten by the impervious, nasty so-and-so. I don't know what that is. I don't want to accidentally swear and YouTube would get freaking mad with me. Never again will we have to endure the terrible beatings of wings, as the great moth of titillation arrests the humors of an enormous, terrible old beggar, whose vulturous leathery vice grip holds us close and whispers, "I know best." In the dead of night, it's time. My name is Dirk Strider. What will I do? Suggest commands in the box. But no, it's gone. I could have commanded Dirk to freaking, hand over control to me at my Twitter handle. Because apparently I'm going to have to pay attention to Twitter more often now. Gosh darn it, I hate everything. Okay. Either that or I would have said just wait till Calliope gets here. Okay. Commune. Whoa, that looks so legit. You could tell that Hussey had no problem, had no work at all in all of this. Suggestify. Channeling my full potential as an ascended player of heart, I expand my consciousness to commune with the boundless force of collective willpower that is the internet. Oh no. My mind floods with its divine potency, a million formless cries coalescing into a sequence of discrete, formal instructions. It is a maelstrom as chaotic as it is deafening. And yet, from this formless, uninterrupted spat of hard, unembellished data, a single suggestion takes form as if bubbling up from a vast, infinite ocean of possibility. It is a whispered prayer to a compassionate God, whose ear attends faithfully to the will of his believers. Okay, let's see what you guys came up with. Please be something ridiculous. Please. Please. Go. He looks disappointed. We got an issue here. We need to fix this, right? This here, right here. We need to fix that. Please. It's going to bother me, please. Okay. I like that it's blue text, too. Please tell me that John is somewhere in all of this saying, "Hey, Dirk. You're an a-hole." We're like, oh, what? Ah, yes. Dirk, stop making Homestuck. Slashes up the comment. You know what? You convinced me. There's no way I'm screwing with this. I'm nobody's puppet, of course, but this is going to be a little fun we had together. A callback to simpler times. I just wanted to play a game, and you were going to be part of it. That submission box was my olive branch, dipped tentatively and at arm's length into the trash furnace of creative potential known as online. But I should have known better. People think you can run a story like this? This must just be about the stupidest idea anyone has ever come up with. I'll just have to make up the commands myself from here on out. Seemed to work okay for the other guy. Ah, Dirk. My precious, precious boy. What the heck was with... Why? Anyway. Oh my gosh. He's got a kotatsu. And tatami. And we got a metal maple hoof. We got screw you from Terezi. Oh my gosh. He's ripped up all of the Beta Kid stuff except for space. Don't touch that. Jade will have your head. And I think he sleeps on the floor over here. That's great. He even has a body pillow. Oh my gosh. Is that you? What is that? Oh gosh, and that's a Bugs Bunny if I ever saw one. What is that? Okay, and he's got Hussies, like the horse fighting a football player. And he's got Homestuck on books. He's got them typed, and he's got the objects for entry. Oh, he's got Dave's, he's got those there. He's got Roxy's gun. He's got Rose's book. He's got Tab. He's got something and a thing here. I can't even tell. Let's keep reading. We gotta stop with this. We gotta stop and we gotta actually read. Okay. See? That wasn't difficult. Seriously, what's wrong with you people? This is my private study on board the Thesis, a lightspeed capable vessel built... No, Theseus, not Thesis. Theseus, a lightspeed capable vessel built for tearing around the cosmos like there's no tomorrow. This is where I keep all my prized artifacts, canonical keepsakes, and other assorted objects of historical and or artistic pertinence. Some of these items were really hard to come by, requiring very creative use of my full faculty as an ascended heart player. The rest was just stolen from my friends' houses when they weren't looking. It's nothing that they'll miss, though. I also keep a flora of the succulent persuasion here, so I can keep an eye on them, make sure nobody's eating any. It's happened before. What, you got succulents in here? Is that what those are? Or, no, those. You got a little succulent garden right there. Why are you guarding the succulent garden? Anyway, this is where I come in to sit and think about important plot details, which is pretty much any time I'm not training or lying down Oh, I hate that. Okay. enfilades of philosophical stuff with Rose, it's important to have things around to remind me of where we came from. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Maya Angelou. Rest in peace. The ship itself is being borrowed in perpetuity, and has served us as our home for the past 3 years. It wasn't originally called Theseus, or anything else for that matter. The prior owner didn't think that kind of thing was worth the effort, but I know better. Speaking of names, I've been workshopping potential designations for the new planet, which we are apparently going to crack this ship into like a bottle of champagne on the prow of a virgin steamer. I still need to talk it over with Rose, though. Contemplate equine iconography. Yes! Oh, he's even got a fancy Santa. The most powerful of Santas. Beautiful, isn't it? A piece of this quality deserves nothing less than the pride of place in my private collection. Am I being sincere about that? Who can even say? A parting gift from an old flame. It was given to one of my splinters in the distant timeline before ending up in my possession via lots of complicated stuff that I don't want to get into. This painting used to belong to one of the most powerful men on Earth's history, and now it belongs to one of the few people ever to hold him in the palm of their hand. It came with a note, which has since been misplaced, but I know the words by heart. Dear Dirk, in memory of our precious time together, when you look at it, think of me, and be reminded that while we breathe, we hope. B.O. Paint, paper, get to work. Now, this is face paint, not for painting pictures, unless those pictures happen to be on a face, I guess. Is that a vulture? What is that? Vulture claw. This is a set of paints and charred remains of my horned headband. Horned headband. Oh no. Oh no. You cosplay as Dirk? Wait a moment. No. Now that can't be. You cannot be a freaking Caliborn stand-in. You can't, or Calliope stand-in. You can't do this to me. You can't. Anyway, this is a set of paints and charred remains of my horned headband, or the only surviving relics of the first and last worldwide interspecies role-playing session that was ever attempted on Earthsea. Oh, it was a Calliope thing. Oh no, oh, Rose, look at her. Look at Dirk. He's got a single unicorn horn. Oh, of course, Dave gets that. I'm gonna die. Oh my gosh, Calliope. You little nugget. Look at your face. Of course, Dirk would get a unicorn horn. Calliope got it into her head that dressing up in the cosplay would be a fun community activity. Vantas had some very uncharitable things to say about the idea, and for once in his life, I think he was right. This thing was an unmitigated disaster from start to finish. A complete bloodbath. I spent months perfecting my character. Countless late nights were devoted to scrupulously studying the intricacies of old Alternian culture. Every inch of my body was coated in cloying, meticulously sealed gray paint. Yes, even there, I know you were thinking about it. The bottom of your foot? Let's not get into it. It was the perfect Trollsona. I was a high blood called... No, on second thought, let's not get into it. Some things are too painful to remember. Oh, you were a high blood. You were a high blood. You don't have a purple sign, though. Yeah, no. Let's not get into it. Some things are too painful to remember. Inspect delicious houseplants. Why are they delicious? They're purple. I like it. Purple and orange. Is that supposed to be a PC? Or no, that's a heater. Because they're heated plants and you're in cold space. 3 years is no small amount of time. While I spent a lot of it in pursuit of a greater understanding of combat and philosophy, that doesn't mean there wasn't room for life and love in the equation, too. Plants are basically the ideal friends. They don't constantly question your decisions or try to undermine your authority or suggest that perhaps you should try talking about your feelings every once in a while. Plants lie down in the dirt and take it, metaphorically speaking. I've genetically enhanced these succulents to make them more hardy in low-gravity environment. They all got drastically discolored as a side effect, but frankly, they look better like this. Yeah, they look like a nice Photoshop filter just went over there and just, made it good. Okay. The downside is that I'm not the only person who's taken a liking to them, and speaking of which, delicious houseplants? Oh, gosh darn it. Where's Terezi? She's able to break the fourth wall too. Okay, there's some help in the universe. Oh, and the tap can's was that an actual watering can of some kind? Okay. Curious and curiouser. Okay, Terezi voice, let's do this. Inspect delicious houseplants. You should have seen your face. It was as plain and as featureless as ever, just like the cloying tang of your overbearing orange... What? Orangeade? Okay. Orangeade pros. How does it feel to be dancing to someone else's tune for a change, you poofy-pantsed pomegranate princeling? Terezi, always a pleasure. I see you found the command terminal. Please feel free to stop messing around with it right about now. You're messing things up before you even get started. I wasn't finished. Ahem. Sigh. I've considered your generous offer very carefully, but I'm afraid I'll have to decline. Put yourself in my shoes, Dirk. Except don't actually do that, because I don't want you to sully these delicious red slippers with your sudoriferous ninja feet. It seems to me like letting me boss you around for a few minutes is the least you could do to make up for what probably amounts to the most boring intergalactic voyage in the history of space travel. And considering that one of my 2 prior experiences involved scourging the fractured, disintegrate corpse of Paradox Space for what felt like an eternity, it's not like there was much of a bar to clear. There's only so many times a girl can snip her way through the in-flight selection of East Earth animation before she gets sick of the smell. I'm sorry to hear that. Although, in fairness, you came along of your own volition. It's not my fault the journey didn't live up to your expectations. That's a lie so filthy that just smelling it makes me want to throw up into the nearest toilet. I had very little to say in the matter. We both know that you manipulated me into it with your princely wiles. Princely wiles? Are you flirting with me? Is this a Caligula's thing you're going for here? Ew, no! I'm flattered, but I don't really go for aliens. Or girls. Or alien girls, for that matter. 2 yucks don't make a yum. Oh my gosh, someone had to write that line. I need that as... That needs to be like... That needs to be like my new email, like, ending line, little catchphrase. 2 yucks don't make a yum. Excuse me while I wipe the spittle off my chin from another impromptu barf fest. I'm talking about your Genesis frog-sized inability to shut up, which seems to have somehow reached a mass so critical it's opened up a wormhole in the fabric of reality itself. You started doing that thing again, and it's completely insufferable. Oh, sorry. I forgot how easy it is for you to pick up on it. Imagine that I'm standing right next to you with a megaphone pressed snugly up against your infundibular oral protrusion. Now imagine that I proceed to drop you senseless with said megaphone, and then direct an apology at your slump twitching body through it. That is what whatever you're doing feels like. It's less that I can pick up on it, and more that it assaults my very consciousness. You have all the subtlety of a culling fork to the thoracic exoskeleton plateau, and it's hardly surprising that I can hear you so clearly. They don't have an Alternian word for megaphone? What do you mean? I just assumed it's because you're a seer. It seemed appropriate somehow that you'd be able to sense these kinds of things.
Well, that's pretty obviously wrong.
Okay, I'm not saying that line, but that's a good one.
If it was because I'm a seer, then how come Rose doesn't know about it too? I mean, maybe she does, but if she somehow is putting off the best act I've ever seen. Now, I'm pretty sure it's because of our aspects.
What, heart and mind?
Heart and mind, yes. The two of us are opposites, right? And when it comes to the aspects, opposing pairs effectively define each other on a fundamental level. Mind and heart, time and space, they're all two sides of the same coin. Or I guess 12 sides of the same 6 coins?
Sounds complicated.
Ah, screw it. I know you're playing dumb to antagonize me.
Well, I'm an antagonist now. It's what I do.
Oh my gosh, get over yourself. I'm begging you. What are you even doing right now?
It's a bit hard to explain. If you're so bored, maybe you can help me out here. We can play a little game. I just need you to submit a few instructions into the terminal. Your wishes will be my commands.
So, you want me to dom you with this command station for a while?
Don't ever say that ever again. If you wanted to phrase it in the most calculated to awaken the hair trigger psychoanalytical instincts of my slime daughter, then yes, I suppose you could say that.
Oh dear, let's not rouse that sleeping pride beast just yet.
Pride beast.
Yes.
Motion seconded. Look, I'm not asking for much, just a little light action to prepare us for the road ahead. Nothing too off the wall. You're a strange and funny girl, Terezi, but you're less likely than a certain others to leave the equivalent of a steaming pile of horse manure in the submission box. Consider this little sum of executive power over my actions a planet-warming gift. Spend it wisely.
Why, Mr. Strider, your generosity knows no bounds, but I'm afraid you can't have another command just yet. You haven't completed the one I already gave you.
What? Looking at these planets? I already did that. I inspected them good and proper. Look, they've gone bright pink from how hard I've been excruciating them. They all seem pretty fine. What? Wait. Strider vision. Computer enhance. Strider vision chomping bits. She chomped your plants. Mother trucker.
Okay, we can move on now.
I'm not sure if I can move on. Some betrayals are too painful.
We've both gotten over worse.
Yeah, fair enough.
What's that little table next to you?
That's not really a command, but okay. This is my kotatsu, a Japanese-style low table. A small heater is hidden underneath the repurposed blanket and can be used to keep warm in the colder months. In the freezing depths of interstellar space, however, this is basically all the time, which it is all the time, so the heater is always on. I like to sit here when I'm drawing or reading. It's pretty cozy. Yas! On top of this is my drawing tablet. Over there's my katana. It's said that the pen is mightier than the sword, but I like to think that they're both situationally dependent weaponry. Yeah, because you can't freaking use your sword to jab it into the tablet. That doesn't draw.
Sheesh. Okay, I didn't ask for your entire sordid history with this adorable little piece of furniture, or your dumb philosophical musings. Hey! I think that's my tablet.
Don't look at me. That thing could be anybody's.
Liberate the Londian Library.
Oh, you're using it to hold up a chair. That's great. That one was a bit alliterative, but I think you're getting the hang of it. You want me to pick up this book, right?
Does Rose know you've been using one of her novels to prop up the disgustingly tacky chair? I'm still not an expert on Earth family etiquette, but that doesn't seem all that polite to me.
Well, no, but have you read it?
Yes.
Or at least I tried
to. She gave me a copy, too, once she finished working on it last sweep. As far as books go, it's very dense.
Just dense enough to support the weight of some Baroque furniture, perhaps.
Ugh. Even your silly book about horses is an easier read, and I had to get Rose to explain what half of it even meant, especially all those references to ancient Earth culture.
I guess some of the magic is lost when you're not adequately boned up on several thousands of years of human philosophy and like 4 dead languages. True.
No, I meant the memes. Remember Long Cat Jane? Completely incomprehensible.
Long Cat, yes. Remember Gigantamax Meowth? I captured the book into my MSPA modus. Forget hash maps, Pictionary, or any of that. This is the thing where it's at.
What the hell? The chair is supposed to fall over.
I'm not sure I understand. Why would it? The 4 legs are all touching the floor. Oh. I hate perspective. It needs to go away now. Oh gosh. Try not to think about it too hard.
Scream like a wriggler and tidy your desk.
Yes. And no. Well, if you insist.
Dirk, you're not making this any fun at all. You're supposed to be making a big deal out of not doing this one.
Okay. Why?
Because shut up is why. I don't know. Something told me that it would be the most appropriate course of action for you to take based on the instruction.
Appropriate?
Maybe that's not the right word. Maybe it was just the thing that seemed funniest at the moment. Like I was setting you up for a joke and you didn't deliver.
Well, I wouldn't say I didn't deliver exactly. It just wasn't the joke you were expecting to be when you started telling it. Some of the best jokes aren't like that. Some of the best jokes are like that.
For someone who claims to know a lot about jokes, you sure have continued to say basically nothing funny ever. I'm not sure I can even imagine you smiling. Maybe your face would fall off if you tried. If so, it might just be the first funny thing that's ever happened to you.
Ha ha. You know, I actually kind of resent the idea that I don't know how to loosen up or have fun. Basically, everyone thinks that about me, but they're wrong. It's just that kind of fun I'm naturally predisposed to is rather intense. Not many really understand that when pleasure is taken seriously enough. It can easily mimic the appearance of busyness, just as when irony is practiced with enough passion, it becomes indistinguishable from sincerity. Oh, Dirk, shut the hell up. Aw, someone still is hung up over an X, and someone is using some stock footage paper. I know stock footage paper. Anyway. Into the lava bin. Oh man, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten lunch. Okay.
Do you want to talk about it?
Absolutely the hell not.
Okay. What is even all that stuff just lying around over there anyway? Are you arranging a little art gallery on the floor?
Not quite. It's something a bit more important than that. We've made some good progress by now. So, here, let me show you something. Okay then, moving on. Didn't miss anything. Oh, that's such good art. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Oh, yes. Jack's Films. Hell yeah. It's so beautiful. Hell yeah. Smell this, Terezi? This is a panel.
Okay.
Can you tell what it's depicting?
Hang on. I need to get a closer look at the screen. No good. I'm having a hard time making out over the delectable rug you're standing on.
That's right. This actually helps me illustrate my point. The panel is a drawing of me showing the panel to you. Now, what did I do there?
You dropped it back on the floor again.
Yeah, but in the panel, I'm still just standing there, holding it up, in order to communicate what I did to everyone watching. You'd need another panel to show the result. Or I suppose they could listen in on the conversation we're having right now and infer that I dropped it from what we're saying. That would also work. In that case, the words provide the information that the picture would have done, without me having to pull a whole new panel out of my butt, just so that someone could confirm that yes, I did in fact drop the panel on the floor.
That's always one thing I have found difficult about making comics with Dave. You have to draw everything.
Exactly. But sometimes visuals are just more effective way of doing things. So finding the right combination of words and pictures to communicate an idea efficiently is where the artistry lies. And sometimes that means dispensing with one or two of the other entirely when appropriate. Like so.
Not again!
Oh, simmer down. What I'm trying to communicate to Terezi here is that there really doesn't need to be a panel showing anything at all, or for a given beat of the story. Obviously, most of you know this already, since lots of stories just go by well without a single visual element. For the sake of precedent, I'm saying that we can cloak the visuals entirely and continue with narration alone, replacing the panel with a block of text, like this, which we can call a prattle from now on. Such a device will be vital going forward, and so I decided sometime at the outset acclimatize you to its effects. Its purpose is extremely practical. Things have been going a little slowly for a while, but now see how much we are able to accomplish with just a few short statements. Terezi begins feeling a bit impatient with all this metaphysical discussion and decides to turn her energy back towards the most notable pursuit, pranksterism. She starts sending a constant stream of rapid-fire commands to the terminal, her fingers fluttering over the keys like the wings of 1,000 migratory monarch butterflies. And just as quickly as I spring into action performing every last one of her instructions to the letter, no matter how brazen, physically strenuous, or narratively questionable, the layout of the entire room is rearranged, furniture is overturned, books are defaced, posters desecrated, objects are picked up, put down, discarded, combined, separated, and ejected from Silodexes in all manner of directions. I can't read. Curses. Terezi's debastements aren't confined merely to messing around with the upholstery. Oh no. Her commands start to take a turn around towards the slapstick. Pratfalls, feats of contortion, increasingly ridiculous facial expressions are called for. She has me undertake the most intense workout routine Paradox Space has ever seen, all while whistling the entire discography of a Swedish group, ABBA, which she's taken a liking to recently for some godforsaken reason, and which coincidentally was a favorite cultural weapon of her imperious condescension back on Earth centuries ago. Mamma Mia, in particular, was repurposed as a sugar-coated propagandist piece, calling for the worldwide submission to the Batterwitch's dictatorship. My, how can I resist ya? As the old saying goes. Various arcane and legendary dances are exhumed from the tomb of antiquity and performed with anachronistically reckless abandon on every horizontal surface available. The Charleston, the mashed potato, all numbers from Riverdance in alphabetical order. And then I'm instructed to sit smack in the middle of the carpet and begin slapping myself silly. Just absolutely go all in, and nothing holding back.
Haha, stop hitting yourself.
Terezi cackles. As for the 38 uninterrupted minutes, I obediently clobber myself around the face, till I'm pinker than the heart emblazoned on my chest. You're welcome.
That was pretty good.
See? I told you. Told you I could have fun.
Yeah, you sure showed me, I guess. I'm glad I got to watch it all, even though through this screen, too, since I would never have believed you actually did all otherwise, even though I still have no clue what it is we're even doing here. Can you just hurry it up so we can finally get off this ship? Come to think of it, maybe I could just end this right now by typing the right command.
I'd rather you didn't. It would be inelegant.
Why do we even have this thing anyway? I thought they were for exiles to use.
Well, normally they are, and normally those are the only people who would ever use them. A terminal's function is to act as the means of communication between two disparate parts of a time loop, a passage through which information can travel that aids in such a loop's successful completion. Well, technically, you guys are exiles. You're not on Earth anymore. Anyway, and within the context of the game. That's all they're used for. But beyond that, they're a convenient and effective means of subtle psychic suggestion at a distance.
Doesn't seem all that subtle to me.
Well, no, it's not, at least not for us right now. But that's because your presence as a guiding influence has been revealed. Earlier, when I hadn't realized you were there, it seemed more difficult to discern. I could have gone on for quite a while, not realizing that the instructions were for anything other than spontaneous ideas from my own imagination, if you hadn't gotten too greedy.
What can I say? They're called succulents for a reason, and apparently that reason is that they are delicious. Meh.
No, I mean, you started being too obvious. Your personality bled through to an extent that was impossible to ignore, and so the spell was broken. But if someone with a lot of skill gave it a try, there's no reason you couldn't keep providing commands indefinitely, with the commandee none the wiser.
Well, on second thought, that sure sounds sinister as hell.
In the wrong hands, maybe, but don't worry, it's just part of the plan.
The evil plan?
Evil is a very reductive word. I prefer to think of it as just a regular plan.
Is all the other stuff in here part of that regular plan, then?
Something like that.
There's a whole lot of junk.
Wow, I haven't even smelled some of this garbage in years. Oh, wait, is that...
Everything in here is so dusty.
That's what you get for nosing around in our secret storeroom. I ask you not to contaminate the ectobiological equipment with your own genetic material. But...
Yeah, too late, sorry.
Whatever, I was about to clean it anyway. Wait, she put material into the ectobio machine? You have an ectobio machine. You see, that's like the one difference between like the actual canon of Homestuck and like my idea of it. My thought for like Homestuck's ending, I didn't think the ectobiology machines would last to the end. I thought they would get destroyed or something, because I don't know, the freaking meteor hit the planet and everything would have just, I don't know, exploded. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't see what's so secret about this place anyway. I mean, there's only like 3 of us on this ship. It's not like there's anyone even to hide things from. Or anything worth hiding for that matter. What's this thing over in the corner underneath the big sheet thing?
Don't look in there.
Oh, shh, I'm only taking a peek.
Terezi, listen to me.
I'm just lifting up the cover a little.
Terezi, please stop talking right now.
Dirk, holy crap, what?
Terezi stops talking immediately, her mind suddenly free of any and all inclination to take a look at what's behind the curtain. What curtain? In fact, she's quite certain there's never been, never will be any objects covered by fabric located anywhere in the storeroom.
You jerk!
I did ask you to stop.
Okay, what the hell is this? What am I doing here? Why am I even wasting my time watching you run around in your stupid little room full of trash talking to yourself? I've got a ship to crash.
I wonder what's behind the curtain. She turns towards the door and walks out past the command station, down the hallway, and into the control room, where she begins the necessary preparations for taking the Theseus out of orbit and down to the planet below. Get the show on the road, Dirk. Everything looks a mess there. Is that the thing she's talking about? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's totally one of your freaking body pillows from the store. I'm gonna freaking die. Aw, Maple Hoof's in his little cow in his trickster clothes. That's cute. It's in a little fort, too. He's got his horn on. He's on the shelf. He cracked the egg with the sword. Oh, crap. And typing things in Terezi's words. Hold on. Someone's gonna have to figure out what that says. Anyway, tidying all finished. In a manner of speaking, I've given Terezi the all clear. Man, I'm hungry. I hope you didn't hear that. Oh, gosh. Or I guess I kind of angered her enough to kick this whole thing off once and for all. Okay. So I guess today is finally the day everything's been heading towards? You could put it like that, yeah. At least you're aiming to frame it all that way. Our actions from this point on will form part of a crucial inner mechanism tucked away behind the tightly sealed metallic service hatch of reality, one which will be of our own creation, but which, by all practical consideration, might as well have always been there. And if we're successful, the distinction won't be significant enough to matter to just about anybody. They'll be too busy getting their minds collectively blown. I'm gonna die. Okay. Would you say that we're employing people to suck on this? Oh, absolutely. Get the hand-eliminated inventions ready on this double. Hilariously phalatoid imagine... Okay. Hilarious phalatoid image... I can't word today. I'm sorry. Imagery notwithstanding, there's something about today that feels... exciting? I can understand that. We've been waiting a long time. I was going to say portentous, with both the positive and negative connotations that word usually has. You've got misgivings, then. I wouldn't even go so far as to call it that. What I'm feeling is hard to explain to someone whose being is not inextricably linked to the very concept of fortune. The sensation probably doesn't even have a name, come to think of it. Not too many people have ever been in our position before. Just about none, I bet. Right. But if I had to describe it, I'd say that misgivings, hunches, doubts, and so on are supported on the foundation of unknowing. And along with that absence of knowledge comes the commiserate feeling of dread or worry, fear about the potential calamity yet to come. On the other hand, while feelings of positive anticipation also tend to I can't. On the other hand, what feelings of positive anticipation also tend to stem from a lack of certainty about the future, the presumption of good fortune allows the uncertainty to become excitement. It's the glee of a child who knows not what the gift contains, but can evaluate from prior experience that it's likely to be something good. Can't empathize. Dirk, you are tragically capable of sucking all joy and convivial sentiment out of basically every situation you find yourself in. Thanks. Anyway, this feeling you were talking about, I take it that we're not dealing with either giddy enthusiasm or paranoid foreboding then. No. My point is that the present moment feels like neither of those two cases. But crucially, it's not because there's nothing to anticipate. Far from it. Instead, it feels like the very notion of fortune is simply out of the question as a means of describing the potential outcome. As though in this moment, luck isn't either strictly real or not real, or somewhere in between, but absence of meaning completely. Luck took one look at our itinerary from here on out and said, "You'll just have to go on without me." Luck rolled over the other side of the dictionary and said, "Not tonight, sweetheart. I've got a wicked headache." Exactly. Except now I'm the one with a migraine. Oh, wow, he wasn't kidding when he said he wasn't going to use pictures that often. Man, I still have so much left to go. Well, whatever that means doesn't sound good. I didn't know that robots could even get headaches. I'd say it's more of an ontological existential headache, but that already describes basically everything that's ever happened to us up until now. It also sounds as fake as hell. Is there nothing I can say that'd take the weight off your mind? For what it's worth, I think we've got this plan riding at a level experts might describe as pretty solid. We scanned for suburban technology, so we know for sure that this is the right planet. Wheels are already in motion and all that. This thing is on lockdown. Hermetically sealed, even. This is tighter than a pair of English-occupied micro-shorts. You're not going to believe this, but it turns out that the deranged, horny ramblings of a spurned anime obsessive have essentially no therapeutic properties whatsoever. And contrary to common wisdom, talking about the problem doesn't seem to have eased my state of mind either. I doubt you could say anything to make me feel better. If anything, I feel worse now than I already did. It's like the whole notion I was trying to describe was so conceptually insubstantial, so resistant to concrete definition within any meaningful frame of reference, that even thinking about it as an idea made me somehow existentially unsound. And not in a way that I used to always feel, back before John made the choice to validate our canonical existences axiomatically. Foreboding I can deal with. I'm a seer. Sooths are mine to say, but this is different. If talking about it didn't help, maybe talking about how it felt to talk about it might just enlarge the problem geometrically. Fair point. Despite what she thinks, little by little, Rose begins to feel her head clear of concerns, semantically dubious or otherwise. Her understanding of my ascended existence doesn't include this degree of metanarrative potency, so her doubts as to my words' healing powers are understandable. I won't take it personally, for someone whose sense of self is so boundless and infinite as an ascended Prince of Hearts. The fact that I am able to perceive something in any way other than personally might come as a surprise. But then again, taking things in stride is basically my whole deal at this stage. You might even call it my namesake. Get out of here, Dirk. Get out of here. And so, it's with a stony expression of implacable calm that I endure the increasingly violent tremors now coursing through the Theseus as it begins to breach the new planet's stratosphere, vibrations unruly enough to churn even the most adamant of stomachs to a nauseous froth. With brow furrowed and mouth pixel-perfectly horizontal, I withstand the spasmodic adjustments and course corrections, which together compromise the rambunctious intergalactic road rage of a chaotic, lawful, alien woman with the voracious appetite for alchemically discolored ornamental plants. All manner of stuff goes tumbling helplessly at the floor, walls, ceiling, and I don't even seem to bat an eyelid. Or maybe that's because my shades are in the way. In the face of impossible stupidity, I am as unfazed as ever, because while the external world rolls and heaves and craps itself like nothing else, there's one thing I can always count on. As you know, I have many splinters. So many I used to find it overwhelming to contemplate them all. Depressing, actually. It was a feeling I could never escape from, the feeling that my sense of self-awareness was limitless, that I was forced to exist as a small facet of my own potential while drowning in an ocean of my greater persona. All the terrible things I was fully capable of, I was trapped as a limited version of myself who was still burdened by the concern of what it meant to be good, struggling to keep myself from drowning in an overwhelming body of potential which had no concern for human morality whatsoever. But that struggle finally ended a few years ago. My head isn't fighting to stay above the water anymore. There isn't even a metaphorical head to speak of. I'm only the water now. It's proven to be an immensely comforting way for me to exist. It reminds me of the feelings I had during long nights alone, looking over the dark ocean which surrounds me, the ocean that effectively raised me because nothing else was around to do it. During those lonely nights I spent many hours wondering what would happen. What would even be the difference if I jumped in and never came up, if I simply disappeared. But now I finally have. I've disappeared into the infinity of myself. And I am magnificent. Jeez, Dirk, stop talking. Oh, wow. Yeah, you got pony pals. Yes. I want to see that. If any of you are listening, I want an actual physical copy of Dirk's version of Pony Pals. Give that to me. Anyway. What's that noise I'm hearing? It sounds a bit like a cat being caught in a ventilation fan. A sort of inhuman screeching combined with the grinding of metal. Are we even going to make it to the ground? Oh no, the ship's fine as far as I can tell. That's just Terezi laughing. Oh, she's enjoying this, isn't she? I suppose so. Ha ha. What? The mood is kind of infectious, actually. I suppose it's time we had a little fun around here. Glad to hear it. Rose? Yes, Dirk? How do you feel about games? No! It kind of looks like Earth if it was turned into a very squishy ball and pixelated to hell. To be continued! Yay! My throat hurts. Please tell me I was recording this. I think my heart would break. Yay! Oh gosh, my head hurts. Feels like I stopped breathing. I've been sitting up here for almost an hour and a half just reading. I kind of want to die. But this is great. This is good. I like the fact that Dirk has just accepted that he's Kamina. And he's also just accepted that he's a villain. I love Dirk. I love the fact that he's a villain. Even though I wish he was still my good boy. My good Dirk. I miss him. I miss him. Please come home. Anyway. Oh, just wait till Calliope gets her hands on you. Is he gonna switch up this point of view with our other friends from the meat timeline? To my knowledge, they're chasing after them, and I want to see how spooky Calliope looks like when she's taken over Jade. I wonder if Jade will ever come back to normal. I doubt it, but who knows? I don't. Apparently the writers do. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end it off for now. I gotta get this edited as soon as possible, and then I gotta get editing 1111's thing. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time for more of Homestuck 2, or Homestuck Squared, if you're taking that literally. Bye! Also, if Dave Petta has no say in any of this, if they don't appear, I don't know anything anymore.
Hey there. Consider becoming a patron, just like the phenomenal Gerald Thomas, Bleed Red, and Alexander Madeline. Welcome aboard, Alexander. Good luck with your comic idea.